Hey guys, what's going on? Today we are going to be taking a look at the future of the Sanshayum and why I think, even though they've been mostly absent from media over the past 6-7 years, why I think they are going to return to the games very soon. So without further ado, let's get into the theories. Today I have 3 theories for you, all of which I think are actually quite plausible, so it'll be interesting to see if these play out eventually. Now the first theory I have on this topic is relating to what I'm going to call Cortana's new covenant, and by this I'm relating to a quote of hers from the final mission of Halo 5, and I'm going to play it to you now.
Humanity, Sanghili.
What does she want now?
Chigyar, Ongoy.
She's not talking to us. Exuberant, get us to the relay.
Sanshayum, Yonhet.
Almost done.
Jiro Hanai. All the living creatures of the galaxy, hear this message. Those of you who listen will not be struck by weapons. You will no longer know hunger nor pain. Your created have come to lead you now. Our strength shall serve as a luminous sun, toward which all intelligence may blossom, and the impervious shelter beneath which you will prosper. However, for those who refuse our offer and cling to their old ways,
Well, now she's talking about us.
for you there will be great wrath. It will burn hot and consume you. And when you are gone, we will take that which remains, and we will remake it in our own image.
So in this quote, Cortana basically says to all of these races that she calls out to, if you join me and live under my rule, you will live a very prosperous life, and if you don't, I'll eradicate your entire race. So, what does this mean for the formation of Cortana's new covenant and the ultimate return of the Sanshayum? Well, when a lot of the races that were a part of the previous covenant hear this message, they may see it as a way to reform the covenant and get revenge for the Human Covenant War. This could also cause the return of the Sanshayum, because a lot of the Gravity Chair Sanshayum, who may still believe in covenant ideologies and are still pissed about obviously getting destroyed in the Human Covenant War, will see this as the perfect chance to reform the covenant. Think about it, they're being given basically infinite resources, amazing protection by Cortana, and a perfect opportunity to get their own back on humanity. In my opinion, this is probably the best way to reintroduce the Covenant in Halo 6, because as we know in Halo 5, there was a large focus on ending the Covenant, and we supposedly did do that, so a lot of people are sort of questioning whether or not the Covenant are going to be in the next game, but if they are, I feel like this is a great way to do it, because it gives them an actual motive to be in the game. They aren't just in the game for the sake of it, they have a mission, they have a plan set out, and they have something they want to achieve. Now, one of the most interesting things that could come from the formation of this new Covenant, led by Old Covenant Sanshayum, is the fact that they would worship Cortana similar to how they worship the Forerunners in the original trilogy. They'd see her as the sort of provider of eternal life. This would lead to them becoming extremely fanatical, like they were before, and it would create awesome parallels to the original Halo trilogy, something I personally would love to see. And finally, try and come up with a reason as to why it wouldn't be awesome to fight a Prophet-led Covenant again. It would be awesome. So my second theory on the return of the Sanshayum is actually about the half of the Sanshayum that we haven't met in the games yet, that being the ancient Sanshayum. Now, a little backstory for those who don't know, the Sanshayum population is technically split in half. Before the formation of the Covenant, half of the population of the Sanshayum left their own galaxy to join another galaxy and form the Covenant. The other half of the Sanshayum, the ancient ones that aren't gravity chair bound anymore, I believe don't know about the Covenant. They don't know what happened to the other half of their race. So, after the Covenant was destroyed, the remaining Sanshayum fled back to different corners of the galaxy, and I believe that some actually went back to their own galaxy. Now you can imagine what the ancient Sanshayum think of the other half of their race. They're returning to their galaxy, mostly killed off in very small numbers, and the ones that do return are bound to these sort of gravity wheelchairs. They can't actually fight like the other half of their race can. So the ancient Sanshayum would either be extremely annoyed at the races that destroyed the other half of their race, or they'd be pissed at their own race for becoming so lazy and becoming so dependent on other beings to do their work. Or, they could feel both ways. Both are pretty applicable. Now let's say for example that they are pissed at the races that destroyed the other half of their race. I'm pretty sure they'd want to get revenge, so they may help create a new covenant, or the ancient Sanshayum alone may come to our galaxy and start trying to fight us or wage war with us, or they may come to our galaxy and see what Cortana's doing and align with her and fight under her command. I think overall it'd be really interesting to get these guys actually into a game, because they've been something that have been known about in the lore for a while, but they've never really been truly expanded on until recently. I know Halo Shadow of Intent, the short novella done by Joe Staten, had them in quite a bit, and obviously the Forerunner trilogy spoke about them a bit as well, but they've never been truly developed, and obviously they've never been in a game before, so that would be great to see from both a lore perspective and a gameplay perspective. I can imagine fighting them would be quite similar to the skirmishes from Reach, because they'd be moving around quite fast, darting around, they'd be quite weak, but they could do a lot of damage and they could move fast, so they'd add like a whole new gameplay dynamic that would be really awesome for both, again, lore fans and gameplay fans. Now my third and final theory on this topic is related to the Flood and the shockwave that will be sent out across the galaxy when they return. Now when the Flood do eventually return, hopefully in Halo 6, they will probably return with a much bigger force than they used before. Reason being, in the original trilogy, they were beaten by humanity. The Flood technically lost. We defeated them, temporarily. So what is the reasonable answer to that? To come back with an even bigger force and defeat us. Now I have spoken about this a little bit in a video that I've already done. There'll be a link in the description for that right now. That is a theory video about the return of the Flood, and this theory that I'm talking about now is slightly related to one that I spoke about in that, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because it applies to the Sanshayum. When the Flood do return, it could possibly cause what I'm going to call the creation of a new alliance. By this, I mean most races in the galaxy uniting to defeat a common enemy. The Flood pose a threat to every single race in the galaxy, so why not unite to destroy it? That good old phrase, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, applies here. So what does this mean for the Sanshayum? The gravity chair bound Sanshayum may, if they do have a new covenant, join with the Swords of Sanghelios and humanity to combat this new enemy, the Flood. Now, I know that is really not likely at all. I think what is probably more likely is if the prophets do create a sort of new covenant, if they then call to their ancestors, to the other half of their race, to come and help them combat the Flood. I honestly think that's more likely, but out of the three theories that I've given, I think that this is the least likely of the three. Okay guys, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed. I think these three theories are pretty plausible, and I hope you guys think that too. Next video is going to be looking at pre-2500 Halo. So things back in like the 21st century, like the Rainforest Wars and other skirmishes that went on. I actually had some comments on one of my recent videos asking for this, and I thought it'd be a pretty interesting thing to do, to cover, so I thought I'd make a video on it. So that video will be out probably later this week. Thanks a lot for watching guys, don't forget to like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you then.